for ha Ghanatube so modo for snow me mama kwa ba e de ba channel we so matna say die na me de nsem ahodwo a ekoso e wo omani mu ebo na so me nom enkwan no enja fofo no nti dimechi na enkoti nsem bia ekoso.
Staying with us here on Channel 1 TV. I am Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Shortly, we'll be taking you to the Jubilee House where President John Dramani Mahama is expected to declare his asset to the public. In attendance, we have the Auditor General and then other government officials. Please stay with us.
Hajia Shamima Muslim is my deputy spokesperson to the president. And then Mr. Standogbe is the deputy chief of staff in charge of operations at the office of the president. Thank you very much. Mr. Auditor General, I would ask you to do a brief introduction of your team and then we'll proceed. All right, thank you very much. We've also been joined by Dr. Kalistos Mahama, Secretary to the President, and Mrs. Joyce Bawa-Muktari, Senior Presidential Advisor and Special Aide to His Excellency the President. At this stage, I will call on the Auditor General to receive the completed forms from His Excellency the President. Photographers. Thank you very much, Mr. President and Mr. Auditor General. I now have the singular honor of inviting His Excellency the President to make a few remarks on why this ceremony is taking place. Thank you.
I was just looking at the statute on Assets Declaration, and under Article 286 of the 1992 Constitution, it names the President, the Vice President, Ministers and Deputy Ministers, Members of Parliament, and judges. And then again under Act 550, Public Office Holders Declaration of Assets, it includes public officers, including those in the civil service, public corporations, and statutory boards. Then it also includes chief executives of all public corporations. It includes district chief executives, and then members of the Council of State. There are many people in public office who do not know that they are covered under this assets declaration regime. And so, Auditor General, there must be a reminder to all these people that they are covered under the assets declaration regime. And so I have presented mine this morning, and let me make a few remarks. Senior government officials present, the Auditor General and staff of your department, we're very happy to have you here this morning at the Presidency, friends of the media. I've just performed a simple but brief, very important act of presenting my completed assets declaration forms to the Auditor General as required by Article 286 of the 1992 Constitution and the Public Office Holders Declaration of Assets and Disqualifications Act 1998, Act 550. Ghana's assets declaration regime and its related activities have often been shrouded in secrecy, and only unless in special circumstances compliance is often difficult to measure. In times past, I would privately have presented these forms to the Auditor General in fulfillment of my statutory obligation. I've taken this step of presenting these forms publicly as a way of injecting some openness and transparency into the process of assets declaration. I've always maintained that while it is all well and good to punish corruption, a more effective way of addressing the canker is preventing it from occurring in the first place. I honestly believe that if properly curated and enforced, the assets declaration process can become a sustainable tool for tackling corruption. Corruption by nature is insidious and thrives under the cover of darkness. The more light that is shone on it, the more likely that it will be fought successfully. I've also taken this step to send an unmistakable signal to all public office holders, especially those that I have appointed, that I take the declaration of assets very seriously and expect full compliance from them. I've asked the Chief of Staff to send word to all appointees to ensure that they declare their assets by the end of the first quarter of this year, that is by 31st March 2025. I wish to stress that any appointee failing to meet this deadline would face severe sanctions, not excluding removal from office. Even as we strive to hold past government officials accountable for their stewardship, I deem it even more imperative to enforce anti-corruption among our present public office holders. Charity, they say, begins at home. I'm therefore determined to take the necessary steps to ensure that we fight corruption vigorously so that the precious little resources that have been entrusted to us by the Ghanaian people are used only in their interest. There have been issues raised about the effectiveness of the current assets declaration regime. We must take advantage of the current constitution review process to strengthen the assets declaration regime to make it more relevant to changing times. I believe that we must move to a regime where the assets so declared can be published before and after public office, so that the phenomenon of unexplained and overnight wealth, obviously earned through the proceeds of corruption, can be checked. I trust that a healthy debate can be had over this issue and consensus built on the way forward, so that collectively we can defeat the unwholesome canker of corruption. I thank you for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I don't know if the Auditor General has a remark or two to make on this occasion. Yes. Right.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I thought that once the head of state and His Excellency has spoken, that would have ended everything. But I thank you also for the permission to give one or two remarks. And indeed, the remark goes directly in line with what His Excellency said. Because at our end there, we receive your form, just like His Excellency has done. You don't seal it. We are going to open it to see exactly what entries you have made. But when we are looking at it, what we are looking at is whether you have not left any blank spaces, whether you have not left your bank balances. Some may list all the banks that they have, but there will be no balances at it, and we will call you to come and redo it. That's the extent to which we do this. If you say you have 10 bank accounts and you bring it to us, how are we to be sure that indeed it is only 10 bank accounts that you have? If you say you have 2 buildings, what can we do to ensure that it is exactly the 2 buildings that you have? So reviewing the Constitution, as His Excellency has said, I think it's a very, very important issue that we have to take seriously. And we also support the publishing. If you submit your assets and declaration forms, we should be able to publish it freely. And the time that you are leaving office too, we will publish it to see the changes that have happened ever since you started the new office. So on behalf of myself and my staff from the Audit Service, we welcome His Excellency's wonderful idea, and whatever we can do to support, we will do. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Auditor General. We'll draw the curtains down on this brief ceremony. Thank you all for coming. Oh yes, Mr. Auditor General and your staff, there will be an opportunity for you to take a photo with the President to mark this occasion. Outside.
You able to see from now as a mudim which ye could see and sem no a buy comment box no a train for comments a brand na minjibre and kinka and mount. Answer a message was make I say aha a Ghanatube. So subscribe, hit on the notification bell for more updates. See you, Macram.